Adjutant General of Pennsylvania. He is responsible for command, control, and supervision of nearly 20,000 soldiers and airmen of the Pennsylvania National Guard, 6 state-owned veterans homes, and programs for Pennsylvania of 1 million veterans. General Craig is a graduate of Temple University. As a member of the university's Army Reserve Officers Training Corps program, he earned his commission as a second lieutenant, as well as the title of Distinguished Military Officer and Cavalryman. General Craig has served at numerous staff assignments, has commanded every level in both the active and reserve components of the Army. Before assuming his present duties, his most recent assignment was as the commanding officer of the 28th Infantry Division, the oldest. Continuous serving decision in the United States Army. Please welcome General Craig.
Thank you. It's indeed a pleasure to be here. Mr. Mayor, Senator Tomlinson, representatives, commissioners, Gold Star family members, families and friends. It's great to be back here in Southeast Pennsylvania, not far from where I grew up. It is really, I would consider, one of the most historic and patriotic regions in our entire state. Of course, only a few miles south of here, in the city of Philadelphia, the Declaration of Independence was signed on July 4th, 1776. And the Constitution of our country was written here in 1787. Only a few miles east of here is where General George Washington launched a surprise attack across the Delaware on Christmas Day, 1776. That stunned the world and reversed our fortunes in the Revolutionary War. And it was only a few miles west of here, in Valley Forge, in the winter of 1777 and 1778, where General George Washington and Baron von Steuben reformed, drilled, and reorganized the battered American Army, and what emerged from there was a force that could meet the British Army head-on. Pennsylvania was then, and remains now, the keystone when it comes to the defense of our nation. Before the First Armed Forces Day on May 20th, 1950, the Army, Air Force, Navy, and Marine Corps each had its own holiday or event. President Harry Truman led the effort to establish a single holiday for citizens to come together and to thank all of us in the military service for their patriotic service for our country. His desire for a single-day celebration stemmed from the unification of the armed forces into what was then the brand new Department of Defense. The theme of unity played an important role in the creation of Armed Forces Day. In fact, the official theme of the first Armed Forces Day was called Team Together for Defense. The day served several purposes for the Department of Defense, including raising awareness among all citizens about the armed forces, enhancing the understanding of the types of duties performed by the military, and the role of the military in civilian life. Additionally, it provided us with an opportunity to show our state-of-the-art equipment to the American public to have a better idea of the military might that their taxpayers' dollars were invested in. Truman's efforts also allowed us to give America a day to recall the efforts of all those who have worn the uniform, both today and those who served years ago, from the greatest generation to the 9/11 generation. We are so fortunate to live and work in this great nation and proudly say that we are Americans. And it is in part because of the selfless dedication of our military service members. I can say without hesitation that our young men and women today in uniform deserve the undying respect of our nation, just as all of those who served previously. Today, they are noble and dedicated professionals, ingrained and fully understand the ideals of duty, honor, and country. They understand service above self, integrity and excellence. They are the best trained and best equipped warriors in our nation's history. Many of the men and women who served on the front lines between the 1940s through the 70s have also been graciously on the front lines welcoming home today's troops when they do come home. So those of you who serve in the VFW and the American Legion and the Patriot Riders and work for the USO and the Marine Corps League and many other veteran service organizations, I thank you as a currently serving military member from the bottom of my heart for your unswerving support of my soldiers and airmen in the Pennsylvania Guard. I can assure you all, whether you served just yesterday or you served 40 years ago, that today's veterans carry the flag with the same courage and commitment that you did when you were called to duty. It was General George Washington who quite rightly said, "The willingness with which our young people are likely to serve in any war, no matter how justified, shall be directly proportional to how they perceive the veterans of earlier wars were treated and appreciated by their nation." If this holds true, then America will have no problem maintaining its all-volunteer force indefinitely. For the Pennsylvania National Guard, despite now deploying over 30,000 men and women during this decade of the global war on terrorism, Pennsylvania National Guard stands today at 100% manning rate with just over 19,000 soldiers and airmen currently serving. And I can tell you today that I am fortunate. I have a waiting list of soldiers and airmen who want to join our ranks. There are many factors that play into this situation, but perhaps none is greater than the support that today's veterans enjoy, support that in many ways has come and gone across previous conflicts. Today's vast network of education, medical, mental, and social support is something that must not be taken for granted. For as all of you know, it has not always been as robust as it is today. If you wore this uniform sometime in the past and you need help with something, with anything, someone is out there to help. Do not hesitate. You simply have to reach out to qualified veterans officers here in the county, to veteran services officers at your post or legion, or my own offices. So I applaud the effort today here in Bucks County for this veterans outreach that are going on in these tents as we speak. Many other things have also changed in the last 62 years since Armed Forces Day was started. But the reasons to recognize this day are not among them. It is a day that we pause to remember all of the men and women who have volunteered, and it has been an all-volunteer force now for more than 40 years. All those who have volunteered to put on the uniform and head in harm's way when called. So please join me on this special day to say thank you to those Americans who proudly serve this great nation by volunteering for military duty, and welcome home to those who have served the nation abroad. Thank you very much. Thank you for Bucks County for your support, and thank you all for being here. Thank you.